Good morning. My name is Laurel Harden, and I'll be your song leader today. We're going to open with the hymn, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. If you have a hymnal, it's number 188. And we're going to sing it as a combination of melodies. The first part is like a drone. Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, though we've broken our vows 1,000 times. So you can choose to sing that, or you can choose to sing the melody, which is, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. So we're going to sing it through twice, and you can choose whichever of those melodies you'd like to sing. Thank you. Ready? Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come.
Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, we've broken our vows 1,000 times, though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, though we've broken our vows 1,000 times. Come, come, whoever, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, yet again come.
Thank you.
Please stand for the lighting of our chalice and saying of our covenant. Good morning, I'm John Palumbo. My pronouns are he, him, and I am your worship associate today. Join me as we recite our covenant, and Laurel lights our chalice. If you're watching remotely and have a chalice with you, please light it with us. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to share our faith in fellowship, thus do we covenant. Please be seated. In this sacred space, we celebrate our humanity, our diversity, and our boundless love that unites us. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, one that is theologically diverse, radically inclusive, and justice-centered. Our doors swing wide and embrace all who seek Our doors swing wide and embrace all who seek a welcoming place. May our worship today be a source of inspiration, a comfort in challenging times, and a call to action. Our minister, Reverend Christine Dance, is on sabbatical until the end of July. This sabbatical is both a part of our contract with us, but also a necessary spiritual practice of rest and recovery from the challenges of ministry. During this time, we'll have a wonderful range of Unitarian Universalist preachers to lead us in worship, each with a different perspective. They will join in us for 1 to 3 weeks in time. This week is our final week to have the pleasure of hearing C.B. Beal in the pulpit. C.B., thank you so much for being with us. We have gotten so much inspiration from you and truly appreciate you. If you are new here, we are so glad you found us. Each of our services are different, so please come back a few times to really get to know us. If you're new here and willing, would you raise your hand? Thank you. All right, I have a few announcements. The annual UUCP picnic, sponsored by the UUCP Foundation, will be held at noon on Sunday, April 6th. The event will be held in the green space near the annex in our playground. If you don't know where that is on Sunday, you just ask and we'll be directed right there. Our crack grilling team, led by Jeff Anderla, will be cooking hamburgers and hot dogs. With meatless options available, we need your help. If it's possible for you, please bring your favorite side dish to share. If no side dish comes to mind, bring cookies or a dessert. You can stash your dish in the kitchen before service. Label your dish so folks know the ingredients. If you can't bring food, no worries. Just bring yourself and your family. The Arts and Crafts group is on summer break starting next Wednesday, April 3rd through the month of July. As you know, Medicaid, Medicare, ACA, and other healthcare protections are under threat. Healthcare Rising Arizona, or HCR, in preparation for a ballot initiative planned for the 2026 election, is collecting information about you and your loved ones' experiences with healthcare. Please use QR codes on the back table or fill out a simple survey, and if you wish, to donate to HCR to make this initiative possible. UU The Vote encourages us to participate in the first nationwide protest against the current administration. It's called Hands Off and will be held next Saturday, April 5th. For details on the Phoenix March, go to handsoff2025.com and choose Find Event. And our panelist, Talise, is playing a free recital here in our sanctuary today at 1 p.m. as part of her degree requirements. And yes. And given that Talise has been here for many weeks, I know I don't have to sell this recital to you, but I will. It's going to be amazing, so please, if you have the opportunity at 1 p.m., come and support Talise. And now I have a special announcement from our board co-president, Bunny Hodis. Thank you, Bunny.
Good morning, everyone. While I am your co-president and my other better half is sitting over here somewhere, there she is, I'm actually here as the board stewardship liaison to speak to you this morning. Excuse me. And I'm going to switch back and forth. I'm not on script, so you guys love that. I just want to say that in the past, we've had our stewardship campaign, and it's run for 4 weeks, and then we spend another 8 weeks trying to get the rest of the money so that we can do our budget and exist in our world as we hope to exist here, paying fair wages and giving our staff some cost of living increase and keeping the building going and doing all those wonderful things. This year we condensed our campaign into a 2-week period, and I'm thrilled to say that in those 2 weeks that we raised as much as we normally do in our first 4 to 6 weeks of $480,000 with 206 pledging units, which, thank you. However, our goal is $615,000, and that's the number really tight that we need to get to make all the things work that work around here. So we're going to do a Close the Gap campaign, and we're going to ask for it now rather than waiting till the annual meeting, because it helps us to set our budget. It helps us to really know where we're going with our dollars and things like that. One of the things that we want to say about this is that we're having construction this summer, which we've already announced, and you know there's going to be a wonderful new wall here that's going to create a closet. We're going to have a wiggle room and some new spaces, and we're going to expand the Johnson room so it's like way cooler than it is now, and that's in terms of like awesomeness as opposed to coolness. But hopefully a little quieter too, because we're adding some sound structure in there. So if any of you have been waiting for that capital campaign to give us some money to put towards these really exciting projects, we are actually taking that and wrapping it into our mortgage payment. And so we are not going to do a capital campaign because we feel, and the board feels, it's so important that we get our money for our operating budget. So if you've been holding on to some money thinking you're going to put it towards that, we're really asking you to now to put it towards this Close the Gap campaign if you can. It would be really wonderful. For everyone else, and this is everyone, if we were to, we had 206 people give. There's still a few people out there that haven't. But if we were to have 200 of those giving units give, this is the number, get ready for it, $750 a year is what we need from the 200 to make up that gap completely. That works out to, this is where my cue card comes in here, my little cheat sheet. That comes out to $63 a month, which comes out to $16 a week, which comes out to $2.25 a day. If there's any way that you feel you can afford any of those numbers, we would love if you would send us an email to stewardship@phoenixuu.com and let us know what you can do, and we would be happy to add that in and then be in touch with you to confirm what you said. Now, obviously, not everyone can do that. So if there are those of you who could maybe pick up for yourself and another person, which would be like $1,500 a year, which works out to $126 a month, $32 a week, and $4.50 a day, that would be really awesome too. And if you're feeling particularly generous along those lines, $5 a day at $365 a year comes out to $1,800 for the year. So that would really put us in a wonderful position moving forward, be able to do all the things that we're doing, do our planning, have Reverend Christine be thrilled when she comes back to see all the work that we've done while she's gone, and would make everything work for us. To just kind of wrap this up in a final personal note, I'm going to kind of take a little joys and sorrows time, but also tell a story here. Dale and I weren't here last week, and that was because we woke up, well, he woke up to first thing in the morning thinking he was having a stroke, and immediately hollered for me, and fortunately, not being stubborn, said, "Call 911." which we did immediately. So the rest of our Sunday was spent over at the hospital with the fine people over at Honor Health there. And as it turns out, they're not exactly sure. We're still working our way through it. He's doing really well. They're not sure if it was a TIA or what they call a VBI or something, but you know, obviously it was very scary for us. And I come from a very small family and don't have a lot of family around here, and at times I will feel isolated in myself and in, you know, our family unit, and that's why I joined UUCP to start with. And I have to tell you, last Sunday was the most beautiful example of who my family is, and it's all of you here at UUCP. Within the first half hour, I started making connections, both to change meetings but just to reach out and say, you know, there's something going on here. We had so much support. I had so many people reach out and say, how can I help? How can I show up? Someone actually showing up, you know, all the things, and it's just continued on. And this is who we are. This is who our community is. And as we heard a few weeks ago, we are the prophets. As we're hearing online in all kinds of other messages, we're the only ones who are going to save ourselves. And so I'm asking you as part of our UUCP family, this is your 911 call from us at the board. Please, make your donations, help us close the gap, give to each other. Think of it not just giving here to turn on the lights, but you're really giving to each other. And thank you. Thank you for being here. And Dale, I love you.
Thank you so much, Bunny. One thing I'll add for our budget, again, that $615,000 is nothing to spare. So if we don't meet that goal, we still have to pay to run this building. So where it comes out of is our wonderful, wonderful staff. And if that staff means something to you and they've done something special for you, then this is your chance to give back and help them. I will be out on the patio after service with my computer, so I can also help you with any changes to your pledge if you want to make a donation towards Close the Gap. Thank you very much. With those out of the way, let us draw deeper into our present moment and into worship, and I'm going to try my luck with the singing bowl. Nope. Here we go.
I forgot the other glasses. These are the words of me, Birdsong. We're all conditioned to try to move at the pace of patriarchy, capitalism, and white supremacy, not at the pace of love and humanity and liberation. And if you and I talk at the speed of liberation, I imagine we'll be less out of breath. Those who would like to come down to the front for the story time, which has a different name here, but you know what I mean. Together time, please do. Uh-oh. Thank you. Gotta pay attention. The story that I'm going to tell today is adapted by a story by Joshua Searle White called Magic Wanda's Travel Emporium. Shall we go on a trip? Yes, let's go on a trip. Not long ago, in a town not far from here, there was a child called Collie, which was short for collective because their parents were hippies. Collie dreamed of taking a journey. They imagined all the exciting things there would be to see and do: lakes, mountains, islands, flowers, new friends and experiences. Their family and teachers of all kinds have taught them what they needed to begin this journey. At first, packing went fine. Chocolate and socks, a chalice, hiking boots, rope, a raincoat, sunscreen, Band-Aids, and a printed UU values flower. Yep. But one thing was missing: a map. How would they know where to go? So Collie went downtown to look for just the right kind of map, and as they went, they saw on a sign on a side of a building, Magic Wanda's Travel Emporium. Everything you need for your journey of your life. Well, clearly this was the place to get maps. Everything you need. In the window on the outside, there were pictures of waterfalls and castles, people and amazing food. It looked like the just right store, and Collie went in, Despite the outside, the inside was an empty room. There was a single counter, and in the corner of the counter, behind where one would have expected things like rolls of maps and displays, there was simply a person sitting calmly or peacefully or maybe sleepily watching. It was hard to tell. This is what she looked like. Said Collie, "There's nothing here." The person didn't respond. Collie thought maybe to leave, but then something about the shopkeeper so calmly sitting there made them decide to wait a minute. And Collie said, hello. I'm going on a long journey and need some help. I came in because I saw your sign says that you have everything for the journey of your life, but I'm confused because there's nothing here. I'm leaving tomorrow, Monday, so I really need help getting ready quickly. Can you help me? Wanda was the shopkeeper's name, and Wanda said, "Oh, yes! You're leaving on a great journey on Tuesday, and you need advice." No, said Collie. Monday is when I leave, Monday. "Oh, yes! You're leaving on a great journey on Wednesday." I'm beginning to understand. No, you don't understand. It's tomorrow, Monday, that I'm leaving. That's why I'm here to get some help. Oh, said Wanda. Well, yes, of course, you're leaving Monday. But on a journey like this, you don't just leave once and be done with it. Oh, no, on this kind of journey, every day you set out all over again. Every day you get up in the morning and decide, am I going or am I staying here? Am I going to do something different or something just the same? Then, each day, if you're ready for the usual joys and sorrows of the changing world and being changed by it, only then do you set off again. So yes, you're leaving tomorrow, and Tuesday, and Wednesday, and every day after that. Collie sighed, because that was all good and well, but not helpful. They needed a map. They asked the shopkeeper, who seemed to have plenty of opinions, if no maps, "Do you have a map?" "Oh, yes. Yes," she nodded. "I know what you mean, those paper things, to tell which direction." Funny thing about maps, you must be very careful. A map is someone else's idea of what the world looks like. It's not the actual world. People make maps of places like rainforests that change every day. People make maps of how to get things done in politics. I think those are called infographics. But politics have changed a lot. And so last year's map will not help you today. Yeah, it's really funny, honey. One person's route could be very wrong for someone else because we're different. Human skills and capacities are variable over time. There's no one way that works for everyone. Wanda paused at her own insight. This is interesting. No one has ever taken your exact journey, but there are people who have traveled and learned about how to do it. You could get lots of maps, read them, and find guides and professionals, and then make decisions about where to go, which guides to follow. The child said, "You could be right, but there's so much to see. Shouldn't I have a map to tell me the most interesting, important things?" "Oh, yes," said Wanda. "There are lots of important things in the world, but some of the most exciting and important things won't show up on any map. Why, you may turn a corner and find a huge rock blocking your path. Now, when that happens, you could get upset, or there might be things you could learn about the rock. How did it get there? Is it hot or cold? What happens if you sit next to it and sing to it? You never know. Have people experienced sudden rocks before? How did they deal with them? Even a rock blocking your path has a story, something new to learn if you look for it. Find the people who have dealt with sudden rocks before. Someone can tell you how to manage the rock. You don't have to make it up. But, said Collie, what if a storm comes or I get chased by tigers? Shouldn't I have a map to guide me to know what to do and where to hide? Oh, she said, well, I suppose if you're being chased by tigers or a storm comes so strong that it could blow you off the mountain, I'd recommend taking shelter until you can continue your adventure. A good nap while sheltering is nothing to sneeze at. You must trust that your journey will continue even if it keeps changing. The journeying parts and the staying put parts take turns, you know. When you're staying put, it's important to keep hope and imagination alive, to talk to people who were there before and let them guide you with their experience about what might be next. When you're on the journey in a way that helps everyone be safe, not just you. A map will tell you how to keep you safe, maybe. But we need to keep everybody safe. So if you stay safe but other people get hurt, when that happens, it's like losing a piece of your heart. Don't leave pieces of your heart behind on the journey. Collie made a picture of this in their head, and it was kind of gross, so they moved on. And they said, well, if all of this is true, is there anything I absolutely need for this journey? Oh, yes, of course there is, said Wanda. There's one thing people might forget to take on this kind of journey. And Wanda forgot what it was. Oh, right. People often think that they should go on deep and meaningful journeys all by themselves, independent and individual. Of course, our personal spiritual journey involves what we care about, our values and commitments, but it doesn't mean that we go it alone. We also have shared values, commitments, and actions. And no journey is complete without company. Let others be part of your journey and appreciate them. Collie said, oh, like my UU faith community and communities of resistance and liberation. Yes! Do you think Wanda had more advice for Collie? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Learn and change. Only teach after you become positive that what you are teaching is true. After all, it might be something you learned from an old map. Collie thanked Wanda and went home. The very next day, Collie set out on their journey. Their family and friends and comrades in the journey gave them advice and gifts. Collie felt supported by their interdependent communities of faith and practice. And the next day, Collie set out again, and the next day after that and after that. Through storms, mountains, tigers, tyrants, rainbows, viruses, and injustice. Through every kind of beauty and every kind of challenge. Every day was a new adventure, and new people and learning new things. And every day, Collie took Wanda's very last words to heart. Help your people and let them help you. Thanks for listening to that very long story.
Each week, we split our offering between the congregation and an organization that shares our value. Our Share the Plate partner for March is the Jewish Community Relations Council, or JCRC. JCRC works to keep the Jewish community safe in these times of hate and anti-Semitism. They also create partnerships through faith, ethnic, and other community groups to create a common table. They help all people fight intolerance and provide a rapid, meaningful response when anyone is targeted with hate because of who they are. In fact, JCRC was instrumental to UUCP when we were targeted by white Christian nationalists in 2022 through 2024, providing meaningful response, resources, and pastoral care at no cost to us with generous hearts. We are grateful for their contributions to help show them our appreciation. We're grateful for your contributions to help show them our appreciation and support. For all that you give, we are so grateful. Ushers, thank you for your willing hands in helping us pass the plate. Just a reminder, you can get more of that at 1 o'clock today. We recognize that our lives are interconnected. Part of our journey as a community is sharing our significant milestones, joys, and sorrows. You can put a note in the chat room on Zoom if you're online. If you want us to read your joy or sorrow next week, please fill out a card before service at the small table at the back of the sanctuary. Before we share joys and sorrows, I want to recognize the tragic earthquake in Myanmar and share our thoughts and for those that are affected by that. And one sorrow shared from Cassandra is that the earthquake in Myanmar has cut off communication with her family there, and she's wishing for their safety and well-being. Waiting to see if we have any online. May our joys and sorrows, those named and those held in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, help us draw closer and care for each other.
And now you can stay seated for our meditation hymn, We Begin Again in Love. John will introduce it.
So I will be reading parts for reflection, and then the music will be played with words of reflection as well. Mm-hmm. For remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference.
We begin ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time that our fears have made us rigid and inaccessible.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time we have struck out in anger without just cause.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For the selfishness that sets us apart and alone.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For losing sight of our unity.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For those and for so many acts both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
I grew up in a world that was what I'll call inclusively challenged. I grew up in a conservative Catholic household. Everyone in my immediate family is straight, cisgendered, and white. As a result, I was what I refer to as obliviously exclusionary. I had no malice towards anyone else, and I thought that was enough. How oblivious was I at that point? Well, I thought politics was simply different opinions. Neither Republican or Democrat was necessarily better or worse than the other. Just, okay. And even though I married a woman of color and had 3 daughters of color, I remained largely oblivious for many years. Not to say I didn't grow or improve, but every time I thought I'd reached some level of enlightened inclusiveness, some lesson would come along, smack me in the face, and re-educate me on my obliviousness. I remember in early 2017 being full of righteous anger, ready to fight against the Trump presidency. And I expected my wife, of all people, to be right there along with me to fight. Then another one of those lessons smacked me in the face. She wasn't full of righteous anger like I was. She was full of fear. Fear as a woman of color that Trump's racist language would be seen by other racists and bigots as permission to attack people of color. In all of my best intentions, I was being obliviously exclusionary because I could not see the world from my own wife's perspective. So, what does this current enlightened version of me today know? One, I know that at some level I will always be oblivious of how our society affects people of color, women, the disabled, and the LGBTQ plus community. My wife of going on 25 years still surprises me from time to time of how the world affects her as opposed to me. As a middle-aged cisgender straight white man, I have more influence in our society, and if I am to be that inclusive person I desire to be, I have to use my privilege to affect change for those that are not privileged, middle-aged, cisgender, straight white men. And three, if I want to overcome my obliviousness and be the inclusive person I want to be, I need to be willing to ask questions of people of minority communities. How are Trump's policies affecting you, your loved ones, your community? How has Prop 314 affected you, your loved ones, your community? How does it affect you that if you park in our lower parking lot and you are in a wheelchair, you have to go all the way around the back of our congregation just to get inside? And then most important questions, how can I be of help to you? How can I support you? What would you like me to be doing for you, your loved ones, your community? Thank you.
Hitler and the rise of the Nazi Party was supported at first by our Lutheran minister. When he began to finally speak out, he was arrested and imprisoned for the duration of World War II. After the war, his sermonizing had a way of speaking that has been imitated very much since. And his way of speaking was along the lines of, when they came for the trade unionist, I didn't speak up. I was not a trade unionist. When they came for the communist, I did not speak up. I was not a communist. When they came for the Jews, I did not speak up because I was not a Jew. That same way of thinking is incorporated in this next song. Peter told the Roman soldiers, I don't know him. Never, never, never seen this man. When the crowd had left him, then Peter stood alone, covering up his tears with both his hands. Everybody now, love is love is love. All of us are family. I am you and you are me. Love is love is love. Let me hear you now. Love is love is love. All of us are family. I am you, you are He said nothing when they took professors away. He said nothing when they took the Jews. When they came to his house and took him away, there was no one left to tell the news. Love is love is love. All of us are family. I am you, you are me. Love is love is love. She was raised up in our good old US of A, working hard for all that she achieved. Brought here as a baby, now the sheriff says, you're not one of us, you have to leave. Love is love is love. All of us are family. I am you, you are me. Love is love. Will we welcome tired and poor and huddled masses, traveling to Miss Liberty's bright light? What will be our answer when a child cries out, why is mommy not with me tonight? Love is love is love. All of us are family. I am you, you are me. Love is love is love. Sing it again. Oh, love is love is love. All of us are family. I am you, you are me. Love is love is love. Peter told the Roman soldiers, I don't know him. Never, never, never seen this man. Namaste.
One of the greatest benefits to me for being here these 3 Sundays is I don't get to hear a lot of live music. Winter in Massachusetts is rather closed and shut up and mask-free. So, holy Pete. When I was a child, I loved to spend time with my grandfather. Most holidays in the late 1960s and 70s, I would get to see him. He felt super old to me then, so probably 60. He was a man of small stature and fewer words. He wore blue jeans and had gnarly dirt hands and maybe an 8th grade education. He lived with my grandmother in a farmhouse with a small attached barn and a large garden. He could grow anything. He planted and then tended his amazing blueberry patch on the side of the house. Papa worked in the parts department of the Ford dealership for minimum wage. His job involved stocking and unstocking shelves with boxes that were labeled things like carburetor AXJ1 and air filter Dodge Duster 72 to 74, the best years. He fetched for a living. In the late 70s, after he was no longer the parts guy at the dealership, my grandparents left the farm and their garden and they moved to a trailer park. I guess we call them mobile home parks now. After a couple of years, Massachusetts passed a bottle bill. Initially ignored by most folk, Papa subsidized their Social Security income by picking up discarded cans from the side of the road. He would slowly ride his old, heavy-framed bicycle up and down the roads with cumbersome plastic trash bags tied on the edges. He'd get his exercise, pick up recyclables, and support his family, 5 cents at a time. Sometimes well-meaning people would pull over their cars on the road, lean out their window, and give him money. It confused him. He didn't understand why people were giving him money. Once he suggested that it was because they were grateful he was cleaning up the road. Yes, that's probably it, the grown-up said. Most people didn't meet the parts guy at the dealership or the can man on the side of the road on an old-timey bike and think to themselves, I wonder what this man knows about. Or, here's a man who might have some knowledge that could help me. Instead, they made an assessment based on their expectations of what a family man looks like, what success is, what knowledge and skills are useful in society, and no doubt put him in a category. To this day, I notice every time I accidentally put people in a category because of what they wear, how they look, or what they're doing at the moment. I loved visiting him. We'd sometimes go to a fair and play the games. For 5 cents, we'd play whack-a-mole. Have you played it? Someone hands you a giant overstuffed mallet and a figure of a mole pops up out of a hole and you have to whack it fast. They pop up again and again and again, and you whack them, and you get points for how many you can whack before they pop down themselves naturally. It was exciting and exhausting for my little arms. Eventually, the arms tire, and curiously enough, that usually happens before you win a prize. So I would walk away and we'd find a better game, or drown my sorrows in a giant balloon of spun sugar cotton candy. This political situation right now can lead us to feel like we're playing whack-a-mole. Protest outside Tesla, make 5 phone calls. Oh no, the CDC and the FDA. Wait, now the Department of Education. Oh, they disappeared a legal resident now, just for speech. ICE detained citizen, a citizen for fitting the description. I can't get the health care I need. I don't dare cross the national border right now. My friends are fleeing the states they live in, and tomorrow, Trans Day of Visibility. I'm trans. These are the colors of my people. I don't know how many years I'll be able to say that on this day. COVID is still killing thousands of people a week and injuring hundreds of thousands a year with ongoing brain, heart, immune system, and other organ injuries and disease, because it's not like a cold or the flu, it's like Lyme or HIV, and the problem isn't the week or two when we get it, it's what it does while it wastes our body from the inside out. And it just doesn't stop. So here we are in 2025, and there's no walking away to go find a better game, and cotton candy just doesn't cut it anymore. Anyway, where was I? Back then, in the olden days, at the farmhouse, my grandfather would sometimes take me for a walk. The farm was on a tiny parcel of land between a cranberry bog and a pine forest. I want to invite you to remember it with me. There was a path that went from their house, through their backyard, and past the garden, and around the bog. After a bit, a pine forest practically touched the corner of the bog. The path branched there and continued one way into the forest, and the other branch went around the bog. The path into the wood was deeply rutted from the use of the 4-wheeled carts and tractors that had been necessary to harvest the cranberries. I would often walk on the raised bump in the middle while Papa walked down in a rut. It made me feel almost as tall as he was. It was a delightful path for me to walk on with my grandfather, my small hand curled up in his large, gnarled one. A path is easy. It's familiar. We get used to it and we know what to do. We were on a walk one day early in summer. on the path just as it verged into the pine forest when he startled something, dropped my hand, and darted off the path and into the woods. I didn't know what was happening, but I followed him. He was my papa. He turned his back to me, and with his pointer finger, he said, "Stop, don't move." Confused, I stopped. I could tell he was trying to keep me from trampling something. I wondered, maybe there were baby birds or toads. I hoped it wasn't a snake. I started moving my foot around in the air, lifting and bending plants so I could see underneath them. Maybe there would be a chipmunk. He said, "Stop that. You could hurt them." I froze. I didn't know why, but I trusted my papa and I did what he said. I put my foot back where it came from very gently. I noticed that it looked like he was weeding the woods. He was pulling up a couple of small plants, seedlings and some tall grasses. He left the dead, dried leaves on the ground, but he was weeding the woods. He told me then to walk in a straight line and step where he stepped and come to him. What I saw was that he had weeded around 2 little plants with tiny flowers. He had darted off the path for the specific purpose into the woods to clear out the detritus around them so that they would have just a little more access to light, soil, and moisture. He explained to me that these were lady slippers and they were endangered. They're a kind of orchid. He taught me that they took between 10 and 16 years to go from seed to flower. And if you pick or disturb a lady slipper at any point in that 16 years, it'll give up and die. When I had been waving my foot in the air before moving plants to see the creature I was looking for, I might have disturbed one. His greatest gift in life, other than being the best papa ever, was an understanding of nature. 55 years later, those blueberry bushes are still there. His understanding of nature went deep into his bones and ran through his blood, and it had nothing at all to do with what he did for income, for a living in our capitalist culture. His wisdom had nothing to do with the parts department or collecting cans. For us, walking the path around the bog and into the woods wasn't a path to anything in particular, although the path greatly determined where we walked. For workers who worked in the cranberry bog and the farmer that was on the other side of the forest, it was a journey with a destination. If they drove a cart along it, there was only one destination and one direction at a time. It's easy for a path to become routine, and when it becomes routine, it becomes a rut. But for my father and I, it was just a path upon which to have experiences, to jump in and out of. When he left the path, my grandfather chose to carefully blaze a tiny trail that changed the world, and I followed him. Wait, changed the world? 2 small plants in the big wide world? What is that? To those 2 plants, it's the whole world. So this current social and political landscape we're in feels like whack-a-mole right now. The fire hose of illegal and ill-considered presidential orders that the president did not make up all by himself. The destruction of our government has us, many of us, stuck in what feels like it might be a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. But it's not a game, and there are real consequences, and everyone is losing. Unitarian Universalists have worked for justice, to build beloved community for all, for golly, so long. And now, these last weeks and months, 2 months, It's only been 2 months. They have left many of us so overwhelmed, stymied, and racking our brains for what is the next right thing to do. When we get out from under the overwhelm, we try to resume our very good and very important justice efforts. As we do, we are likely as not to go down the path towards justice that we have been going down for decades. The organization, style of activism, known leaders and followers. But in these new current circumstances, many of those paths we are familiar with are overgrown, rutted, and outdated. They no longer go where they need to. Have you driven a dirt road in the spring? The ruts determine where you can go, literally. Many of the paths we've navigated were not built for this time. They were built for making liberalism better and maybe a little more progressive. They were not built for this time. We're working hard doing what we've always done, many of us, and many of us want to be leaders, pathfinders. But these paths that we're familiar with are predetermined and built for a different landscape. Would you take a breath with me? And you all know this breathing thing isn't woo, it's neurobiology, right? Okay, would you take another breath with me? Thank you. So if we're not going to build a path, maybe we start thinking about blazing a trail. In Western culture, we were often raised on the singular hero who blazes a trail. I mean, think about the fictional character Indiana Jones. Right? At one point, this European man hacked his way through a rainforest with a machete. The man did not know doodly about rainforests. Nothing. He had no business being at front of the trailblazing process with a machete. No. Trailblazing might call to us. This idea that we have that we will be the person who leads a resistance. We have so many ideas of what we can do. We wake up in the middle of the night with, oh, I could start a group that. Right? Part of what happens, and part of what this is that this is one result of being raised in a culture of supremacy systems, white supremacy, colonialism, individualism, and perfectionism. We can fall in love with our own ideas and our thoughts. And it's easy for us to imagine ourselves being a hero. From zero powerless to trailblazer, ta-da! It's a big emotional leap. The thing is, that's not how trailblazing works. It doesn't work the way it does in the movies. John McClane in Die Hard, in real world, didn't make it into the building. It's not just one person with a machete hacking away at overgrown branches and brambles with a gaggle of frightening people following gratefully behind, giddy with their gratitude. There are many people and tasks involved, and each person has a specialized knowledge to make the work more successful. One person does go first, and they might even get to play with a machete, but it's because they have skill, experience, and knowledge. And the others trust that knowledge and follow the instruction. And then the others follow along, doing their part. There are the people who fix the tools, the people who deliver food and water to the workers, the people who haul the underbrush away, the people who fund the project, the medic, the one with the spreadsheets, the one that keeps track of the evildoers who try to stop the trailblazing, the ones who handle communication, those who support physical and emotional health and safety on the work site, the one with the knowledge of weather and if it's safe here on the side of the mountain. There need to be trailblazers in this time, and if we want to be part of that, we must know that there are those who already have the experience and knowledge for this time that we must follow and support. There are those whose knowledge and activism experience is built for such a time as this because it was built fighting the kinds of violent, overt oppression that has now been nationalized via the destruction of the only things that stopped it. I'll tell you the truth. It's easy for me to talk about how fun it would be to trailblazer because it's one of my favorite daydreams. It's one of my favorite woke up in the middle of the night brilliant ideas to start hacking through nonsense and underbrush. When I was a kid, I would sit with the Montgomery Ward catalog. I was a young kid, and there's all kinds of problems about this story, but I won't dwell here. I would sit with the Montgomery Ward catalog in my lap because I had just learned about apartheid, and I would creatively outfit an entire army to go save people. Now, of course, they did not need me to save them. That I have an idea, I can figure out a plan, that's culturally embedded in me, and it's okay to notice it, and then to say, okay, but I'm not the trailblazer now. Plus, my attention span, I should never be trusted with a machete. No. So there has to be a choice that isn't just whack-a-mole reactivity or the same old path or an ill-considered machete. There must be a choice for our forward movement that has the possibility to decrease harm, increase justice, and build beloved community in small ways and large. My grandfather was being responsive to the needs of those flowers. He didn't have to guess at those needs or have some brilliant new idea about, because his knowledge meant that he knew their needs and he knew how to respond. My responsibility then was to respect his knowledge and follow his lead. Now, I want to be clear that him leaping off the path to go and attend to these flowers wasn't whack-a-mole. It's not like what's happening in Washington. The lady slippers didn't pop up intending to be problematic and distract us from our already committed path of justice. Papa simply noticed them, realized that this was a place he had skill and knowledge and he could make a difference, and he chose to tend them because tending was his chosen work. In that moment, I chose to attend to his knowledge and experience and follow his lead. We accidentally do or say the wrong thing sometimes, and when we do, we accidentally cause harm. We must be able to stay present with ourselves when we make mistakes, have them pointed out, and correct them. It's part of the deal of being part of community. When I think about my story of walking a path with Papa, I realize that my immediate response to being told, "Stop, don't step on it," was just to stop. There was a fleeting feeling of shame. Did I get in trouble? Am I a terrible person? But that feeling left. Papa knew something that I didn't. He instructed me quickly, harshly even, for him. And I stopped. I was looking for a creature and he was protecting a plant. I was completely wrong about what I thought the situation was. So I believed him when he told me about the situation. This is now the third week about preemptive radical inclusion, and I know that I've mentioned that one core practice of PRI is don't believe everything you think. Yesterday, several of you came to a workshop I did, and one of the activities that we did was to ask people to think up as many reasons as possible for the following. There's a squirrel in a box on your steps. Why? Just take a second and start thinking. There's tons of answers. We've been raised to have an initial answer and then to act on it. We believe the first thing that comes to mind. I think this one over here is a dead squirrel. You went there right away, didn't you? Yeah, okay. We have to practice noticing when we have a thought and believe it, and practice bringing ourselves some curiosity. Do I actually know what I'm talking about? Is there someone who knows better? This story about my papa is one of my touchstones, and I want to be able to live in an emotional and spiritual state where when someone knows something I don't, can interrupt any harmful speech or behavior I do, and I simply respond by following their instructions. Western supremacy thinking and individualism has left many of us thinking that we personally have to know and understand before we are obligated to act. I'm the decider. If I'm the decider, I should be able to figure out what the problem is, why, and exactly am I stopping. If I'm the decider, I keep doing it until I find out, perhaps the hard way, because a lady slipper is done now. If I attend to the wisdom of the people who have been here before, who know how to do this journey, we all get this is a huge metaphor, right? Okay, I'm just... If we attend to the people who know and do what they say they need or what is needful, then we're doing the right thing. In the absence of an explanation, I don't just start moving until I understand why I've been asked to stop. I just wait. I can stop a behavior and know that I'll understand why later. We expect this of young children, do we not? I can seek more information, and I can trust people to tell me the truth. I want this to be my knee-jerk reaction when I accidentally cause harm and someone calls me out on it. I just believe them about something that has to do with gender or racial oppression, classism or ableism. I want my immediate response to be to follow their lead. Remember I told you I was the person who mocked a woman who was allergic to wheat and fragrances? I was raised to believe what I had been taught, what I thought, to weaponize it even. And also, I was not raised with the emotional skills to handle being wrong. That discomfort, tolerating that discomfort of being wrong. Fighting to prove that I was right felt much more comfortable. Here's just a truth. The government has turned fascist. I don't have any time left to worry about getting my feelings hurt every time I accidentally weaponize my privilege. I have to level up quick in my ability to do things, to follow people's lead, to apologize when I make mistakes and figure out how to not make them again. The revolution, saving democracy, or making something better, what's going to be next as we rebuild. It can't wait for me to get over having a hurt feeling because I was wrong. The kinds of toughness I was raised for, however, were not this kind of toughness. When we're just a Pathfinder moving along paths of habituation, we often find the paths of the way we've always done it and the people with whom we've always done them. The paths are pretty comfortable. Those paths have not saved us. When Papa noticed the lady slippers under the pine tree, he left the path and blazed a quick trail to respond to a need. He had the knowledge and I didn't. I was all stomp, stomp, stomp around with my heavy farm boots. We UUs have an amazing opportunity to choose right now to be part of a trailblazing UU team. Not stuck on the rutted path of convenience, comfort, and familiarity, and not to spend all of our energy playing whack-a-mole at crisis after crisis in a way that keeps us from choosing someone with knowledge to follow. We must recognize and acknowledge what we actually do and do not know about this new trail that has to be blazed. We have to notice the difference between thinking and hypothesizing, between having experience or knowledge. I'm going to say that again because that was really wrong. We have to notice the difference between thinking and hypothesizing on the one hand and having experience or knowledge on the other. We have to seek to follow those who do have the knowledge, those people who were doing the work of resistance long before they woke up, or the rest of us woke up to the reality that Niemöller's poem was true and was not just past tense. We can't let ourselves be completely taken off our new plans by whack-a-mole, dealing with those things that arise either in our minds or in the rest of our life. And it's also true that sometimes a situation requires that we drop everything else. For instance, if we need to protect trans kids at school, that's what we go do. If we need to show up after March because that's how momentum is built, April 5th is not going to bring back or save democracy. It is going to build momentum. We need to do those things. If we're going to survive and resist the current authoritarian regime, we must pay attention to the ones who know better, because they can teach us. I believe we are called to work, we Unitarian Universalists, us, we are called to work to be responsive rather than reactive, to work collaboratively and collectively to support trailblazing with the people with trailblazing skills. And the people who are the leaders as we move forward towards justice, the ones with the knowledge, well, I've already told you that that leader's not me. I'm a teacher and a preacher. I point people in a direction. I cannot lead them out of Egypt. In any given situation, the one with the knowledge we need might well be the can man or the parts guy at the Ford dealership. It might be the person about whom we've been thinking our good deed was to help them. I'm the one, probably all of us are the ones, who need to stop believing everything I think and seek the knowledge and wisdom in others. Legislative oppression at this level, there are organizations that have been working in political settings, working for justice at this level for decades. Legislative oppression, there are organizations that have been working in political settings for decades. Police violence, we don't need to invent these. We just need to find them and follow them. One way to connect with this is the Unitarian Universalist Association Side with Love professional organizers. And I mention this because I don't know if you know, but it's not a website. I mean, it's a website. It is an activist, organized movement that is run by highly qualified, extremely experienced organizers. If you have a smartphone, would you take it out? Don't look at Facebook. I know you want to. Open up whatever you use for a browser. If you were at the workshop yesterday, you already did this, you don't have to. You're going to type sidewithlove.org. Sidewithlove.org. Then /Action Center. If you don't want to type all those, you can just go find it with the drop-down menu. Now I want you to leave, once you get it, I want you to leave that open and put it away. All you have to remember is to look at it again. You don't have to type it again, you see. Yeah. Now, the reason I did that is because I'm pretty sure that it's Tuesday, they put out, from the Action Center, they put out a list of actions, activities, organizations, things to do, calls to make, places to show up to. My calendar on Wednesday morning, one of my to-do list, whatever morning it is the next day, my to-do list says, I had subscribed, by the way, you can subscribe and do it with your real email, not like that subscription email that you never look at, okay? Every Wednesday, I pick 2 things that I'm going to do this week. I suspect that eventually I'm going to find the niche that works best for my skills and interest and talents and capacities. But in the meantime, instead of sitting around wondering, what can I do? I'm just going to do what they tell me. We can think among ourselves about what are some of the ways that we can do these sorts of things locally. Maybe our congregations could say, what if we offered to local activist organizations that they could hold planning meetings in our congregation? And you know what? We're really good at potlucks and feeding people, and we're really good at childcare, and I don't mean your staff. I don't mean your staff. I mean, hand to God, who here did not think this is what we were going to do in retirement? Right? Okay, so retirement has changed. It just changed. Okay. We know how to feed people. We know how to care for children. There's no reason we could not, in our congregations, create a safe space on Tuesday and Wednesday night for people to have organizing meetings where we can control the technology and they're going to have security and privacy, where we feed them and take care of their kids so they can do the work. I'm really good at that stuff. I am. I'm really good. I can throw a potluck all by myself with my hand tied behind. Well, okay, no, not that anymore. Because my shoulders are bad now, so it takes 2. Anyway, what we get from doing this is that we become trustworthy. We make ourselves trustworthy by finding out what people need and offering it. Now, maybe people are going to be like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for us. We don't need that, what you're offering. But you know what we do need is we need people who can manage these spreadsheets of information, who we can trust. Maybe, all right then, you just found your niche. All right. Maybe what we need is people who are able to house people on their way to get reproductive or gender health care. And the reason we can do it is that we have the space, and also we have the personal constitution that is able to keep someone safe and secret and not tell our best friend we're doing it. I don't know what your thing's going to be. I don't know what your congregation's going to do next. I don't know how you're going to reset all of this. We can tend justice the way my grandfather tended blueberries and endangered flowers. We can be responsive to the emerging needs of our communities, to ask them what they need and figure out how we can help, to join with them who are blazing trails. One other way that you're doing this already is clean air. Your masking in your high-quality fresh air exchange accommodates my need for control of infectious viral particles so that I can remove my mask and accommodate the needs of folks who might not otherwise be able to hear me. It's win-win. We can follow those who are architects of a new way, carrying bricks or water, tending supplies, thirst, or children, serving as medics, tending wounds, or whatever your particular skill set brings. We can avoid the kind of whack-a-mole that the current fire hose, I'm totally mixing metaphors here. The current fire hose wants to drive us to whack-a-mole and powerlessness. But we can be powerful. We are powerful. We can matter, and we do matter. Will you do that? Yes. Will you join me as you explore new ways? Yes. Will you turn to someone next to you and tell them one thought that you had during this remarkably long worship service? I see that. But right now, just for a second, quickly, one thought that you have of something that you might try or might do or might look into. Right now, somebody that's near you, talk to them about it. Okay, and return. And return. I absolutely adore that there are children in worship. I adore it. If there were not, I would have had y'all talk for 5 minutes. You all are a gift to the world. We are gifts to the world. We are flawed and fragile. We carry more damage, inherited damage within us than we can bear. And we can make choices every single day to do something differently and not the way we always thought we would do it. In our retirement, some of us, I'm not rushing others of you. In our retirement, it turns out we are the rebellion. We're the workers of the rebellion. Amen? Amen.
Before our closing hymn, I just want to take one more opportunity to thank CB for these 3 wonderful weeks. After our service ends, please remember to reach out to someone new or that you haven't seen for a while. Our coffee hour will be on the patio immediately after service, and our exploration hour activities for children and adults will start, well, sometime after noon, and will be listed on the screen following service. Thank you.
And our closing hymn is Where You Go, I Will Go, Beloved. And before that, I'd like to acknowledge the other people who are our choir, hymn leaders. This is Duke or Richard Plattner and Susan Finney.
Where
As you go from this place and into the rest of your lives, remember this. Wear your mask, wash your hands, love your people, and let them love you.